if anybody's unfamiliar with the list or they're not sure what the list looks like in general, this is a pretty traditional thing here. So we have Lurrus just because it's a free card. It is a lot slower now. There's no situation where I'm going to cast it and a Footfall Crater in the same turn or anything like that usually. I used to do that where sometimes I could push an extra 3 damage in that they wouldn't expect. I could cycle the Crater and then I could play the Lurrus and give it haste and get an extra 3 points of damage in that they wouldn't expect. So it's kind of like a nice little cutesy thing. But you have your basic package, your Flourishing Foxes, your Rescuers, your Stingers. Those are your main sources of damage outside of course, the big finisher, your Zenith Flare. Obviously, your dream is to get a turn 1 Flourishing Fox, get a bunch of damage in the next couple of turns, and then finish them off with a Flare on turn 4. Now, when you look at the deck list, it does show up as a 4-color deck because, of course, we're running a couple of 1-mana cyclers from other colors. I've toyed with the notion of switching this over to maybe like Jeskai and actually running any number of things, but Ominous Seas is kind of the temptation there. But I don't know, I really don't know if that's going to be good enough or fast enough, especially in a format with Teferi. So I'm staying away from that for now. If Teferi bounces a Fox, usually I've gotten a couple of strikes in with it first, so it's not the end of the world, and that can recycle it. If they bounce your Ominous Seas, you can lose a lot of progress, and then Ominous is just a dead card, and you lost a turn or two recasting it. So I really like just the traditional version of this. Let's go ahead and hop into our first game of the night. Faber. Okay, so I get a lot of hands like this that I'm often not sure if I should keep, because we don't have a way to really cast anything relevant, but we are on the play. We're not going to be on a Fox game, obviously. I know some people who have the policy that you should mulligan to a Fox almost every time, and I just think that's dangerous. So we're going to try this. You'll notice that this deck does not have Sacred Foundries. The main reason for that is I wanted to keep this as budget as possible. A lot of people don't want to spend the rare wildcards on that. Although, decent investment. I came to this deck right after Ikoria came out. I came back to Arena around that time, so I didn't have the Foundries just sitting in my inventory, and I didn't want to waste the time on it. Now, they've played a red-green land here. There are a couple of decks I could expect to see. The most common that I see is either going to be Gruul aggro, or it's going to be something like Teamer Adventures, where they're going to both probably run some number of Shocks or Bone Crusher Giants. I really think here I want to bait that out and see what they have. So I'm actually going to cast a Healer and just see if they do anything to it. My hope is if they Bone Crusher... Okay, a Raptor. Interesting. Now I really wish that I had played the Valiant Rescuer first, but I could not know that. My assumption is that their deck is going to have several trampoline creatures. So I'm going to go ahead and just try to get some chump blockers on the board for their earlier guys. Interesting. Beginning your combat, exile a card from a graveyard. If it was a land card, add... Oh wow, this is literally worst case for me. If I'm cycling only 1 or 2 cards a turn, they're starting to eat those cards out of my graveyard. That's really frustrating. And another Raptor. Okay. All right. So there is a part of me that wants to try to take one of these Raptors off the board, but depending on their follow-ups, if they miss land drops, this could actually turn out to be very, very bad for them because their Raptors are going to both deal 2 damage to them. So we're going to try to live the dream. I know they're probably playing around that fact. I would hope so. And I think because they have a way to exile cards from graveyards, we should be as aggressive as we can with bodies on the board. And I actually don't want to attack here. Let's see what happens. Obviously, they're going to exile my cycling cards. I can't do much about that. That means my Zenith players are going to be pretty weak. But these things do happen. Jeez, gain 2, deal 2. That's a lot of work. I have not played against whatever this deck is. Let's go ahead and cycle a crater. These guys don't currently have trample. So what I think I want to do is see what it is they're trying to do and actually just triple down on one of them and just take a hit from the other. If they blow out a few of my tokens, I get most of them back right away. Okay, so that lets them play bigger things, to be fair. Their other things can survive better. At this point, we're just trying to out-damage them. That's all we really got going on. I'm not sure what their like over-the-top plan is right now. My flares, obviously, like I said, are not going to be as powerful as we would like. But they might be enough to clear a body out of the way. They're going to have some kind of trample to push major damage, though. So I wonder if they have any kind of big, hasty bad boys. Is that pre-combat main phase? Yeah, that's when that just happened. Okay. So they could drop a 6-drop dinosaur of some kind this turn. I don't really know the dinosaur cards very well. I've seen some very aggressively powerful ones. Pass to attackers. Interesting. And he concedes. Alright. So that was a very odd deck. I have lost to that with, you know, some homebrewy kind of things before, so I'm not sure what that's about. Yeah. Alright, we're playing against Ancient Hellkite. What are the odds that they actually have any sort of red spells? So this is not a hand I can keep. I mean, there's an argument in terms of, oh, you can put enough bodies or things in the graveyard, but the deck is taunting me. If this had been a Plains land, I'd be much more greedy or aggressive. I think we do have to mulligan here, and so now we can just pitch one land away. And this is a more traditional mulligan situation for people. We're putting a land down because, honestly, I tend to flood a lot, even with 20 lands, and you just draw a lot of cards. This lets me play the Fox on turn 1, and then I can roll hot on turn 2, make it a 3-3. As long as they don't turn 1 shock, I can at least get a... well, there's a red land. Okay, so it's a Scorch Spitter, though. So I'm going to actually gamble just a little bit here. And we're actually going to do another Fox, because if they do have a Shock or a Bone Crusher, they could try to set something up here. Maybe it's better just to make the 3-3, but I could be wrong. Yeah, so they're going to try to out-aggro me, but I don't know what the current red decks look like anymore. Because I played Obosh as a mono red, and now... okay, so they do have a Shock. Please don't have a second one. Okay. Alright. The thing is, though, basically I paid 1 mana to counterspell their Shock. That's kind of how I read that situation. There is a temptation also to play the Footfall Crater to give Trample and Haste. But I want to see if they're planning on blocking at all. I know a lot of the decks right now are running like Spitfires. So these Scorch Spitters could actually be very, very valuable for them. It does get pretty tough for the mono red decks to actually deal with a really large Fox beyond the chump block plan. So, hey, I drew another crater, so that's actually good news here. So what could they have? Well, I guess there's some new cards. All right, so when a source of non-combat damage, oh, ouch. Yeah, that's a good card. I'm gonna probably fight that this turn just to push damage through and to avoid getting hurt pretty bad on the backswing. Okay, they drew another shock. All right, so we're gonna go for blood, which means we're probably gonna just cycle the other two cards here. We also want to do this now before they have open mana to let them, you know, hold up a shock and offer some sort of profitable trade at any point. It's unlikely that that happens, but you never know. And we're really just hoping to dig into a Zenith Flare before they find that extra damage, and there's the Zenith Flare. Mono Red can't handle Fox? Yeah. And I've seen a lot of the Cavalcade showing up lately. It's a deck that I've really considered trying to put together. Because like I said, I was on the old Obosh plan. And this is part of why I doubled down on the Fox. If they had untapped and had double shock, I would have felt like a fool only having one Fox on the board. Mono Red doesn't have any way to gain life, so the Flare is just lethal here. Unless they're like main decking some sort of thing I'm not aware of. Good call on that though, Tanook. You got the Cavalcade right there. I've had matches where I thought I had the game on lock, and they turn around with a Spitfire that has like, you know, 20 power. So how much damage am I taking though? Am I just dead? Is that, do they have it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay. For just a moment I started to get worried. Alright. So we did get that game off though, that's good. Happenstance. Alright. Oh man, I see so many just mono red hands. This bothers me so much. I really do need the Foundries in here, but I don't really want to put the wild cards into them and then turn around and end up not having access to them in the fall. Let's just keep it. We're on the draw. Okay, they played a basic mountain and passed turn. You think like Runaway Steamkin? Yep, there it is. Alright, in that case, let's go ahead and pitch the Memory Leak. And what we're going to bank on in this match, unfortunately, is... Oh man. Let's see if we can bait a shock on the healer, because I think the Rescuer is going to be much more powerful. They would have blocked a Scorch and shocked. Right. Anax, that's... Okay, that's a card. So, I don't think it's worth blocking because healer can represent more life than this 2 damage here. And it still gives them body back. Cleave? Oh, you know what? Yeah. So Cleave is what? 6 mana normally, and it's 1 less for each attacking creature. Next turn? Yeah, I'm a little worried about that. But, I mean, if they have Cleave, I don't have anything for it anyway, you know? So I honestly think the best thing I can do in the situation is either cycle for some life gain or get the Rescuer down and just try to put bodies in front of people. I could kill... Well, no, I can't. I can't get enough power on board. If they drop land 4, yeah. Alright, let's play the Rescuer. I kind of want more life gain access, but this is just a weird moment in the game. There's no point in doing anything right now. I'll just go ahead and pass. Let's see if they do have the 4th land. They do have it. Okay. Robber of the Rich. Okay. Whenever it attacks, right? I used to think Robber of the Rich had to deal damage, and I always get blindsided by that. Alright, let's go ahead and cycle to gain a life. get a chump. Whenever it attacks, if they have more cards exiled to top turn, any turn you attacked with a rogue, you may cast that card. Okay, so I do think I want to kill the robber. Just so that they can't get any value here. Well, you know, I say that, Anax is going to be a huge problem, isn't he? Oh, yeah, they're up to 3 counters on Steamkin, you're right. So... I'm at 19. If they cleave any... I mean, I don't have the bodies, you know? They're just going to do a huge chunk of damage here anyway. Whee! I don't know that there's a good play here, guys. Let's see if they're just on that plan. Let's see what happens. If they had the cleave, they had the cleave. I can't do much about it. Really could use another land here, though. The other thing is if I block in any other way, they can cast the Go for Blood and just fight my other guys anyway. That's really unfortunate. Alright, we did get another land. What are the odds the last card in their hand is the cleave, you know? Pretty good, probably. Yeah, that was pretty nice. So my thought process is we can start eating up some tokens, and if they don't have a cleave, we're in okay shape. But we're gonna really need to have a flare soon. Being able to untap a flare in response to a cleave would be pretty much my best case scenario, I think. Unfortunately, I think I have to take the hits from Anax, though. Okay, so they played a Steamkin, which means they probably don't have cleave this turn. Probably. Probably is the key word here. I know they get a body off Scorch Spitter, but it does lower Anax's damage. Not what I was looking for. There is an argument here that I'm not supposed to play the Stinger, that I need to focus instead on just digging for a flare. That's not the kind of guy I am. We're really, I think, almost in a position of, does he draw the Ember Cleave before I draw my flare? If I can flare in response to a cleave, that's a big turnaround. I'm starting to get enough bodies on board. I'm really wondering what this last card is. What would they have that they're refusing to play? Or do you think they're just bluffing a, like a mountain? Do you think they're just sitting on a mountain in their hand? Healer's not a bad pickup there. If Fox lives, you have a chance. Yeah, I'm banking on that right now, to be honest with you. Now, honest opinion here, is it better to cycle the healer or do you think we play it, cycle in hopes of drawing another cycler? Because that seems dangerous. I could also just play a Lurrus this turn. It would tap me out, though. I could put Lurrus in hand and just cycle both of these cards to get 2 more 1/1s and make the Fox a 4/4. Let's go ahead and cycle this, because there's a chance... Yeah, I thought about playing Lurrus. I didn't see your message until right then. And of course I hit a land. Lurrus probably was the better call there. But I am definitely putting Lurrus in my hand no matter what. The question now is... yeah, the lifelink is a good point. I had had that thought as well. I'm going to pass the turn, and we're going to cycle for a token. That 3 life, if that ends up being the be-all, end-all, I'll be sad. And I thought about fighting the Steamkin last turn, but... let's actually just cycle. We do get to start bringing bodies back this turn, which is nice. Seen a lot of lands now. Now, if your opponent passes turn, another Anax, wow. Okay. Personally, I think that feels a little greedy, but... I'm at 12, though. You were completely correct. Lurrus definitely should have been what I cast there. I can jump here, fight here, or not fight, but block there, block here, block there. I know they get bodies, but... alright, so play Lurrus. There is a small part of me that wants to play the healer for the life gain, but I'm only going to gain 1 life off of that. I think having 2 more blockers is far better. Alright. The question is, did they get it? Okay, so they advertised. Interesting. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blockers. They have 8 attackers. Definitely wanting to put a token there, probably. Well, I say that. I have Zenith Flare for 10. If I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these die... these guys can't block, right? Yeah. Oh, you know what? They're probably trying to next level me. Their Steamkin can activate their other land. So they're gonna all have 3 power. I have to make sure that only 3 of them get through. So 5 of my creatures have to block, but I can gain 3 life here. Everything but Fox, yeah. That sounds really good. That only leaves 2 getting through for 6 damage. And then that represents lethal, right? Yeah. Wow, that is a game of Magic right there, man. She's gonna activate his land for fun? No, I thought he would. Oh, because why wouldn't the game decide to do that? Yeah, Whelp is probably the appropriate response here. I'm not even going to attack. I'm just going to empty my hand. Well done. Yeah, to be fair, there might have been a turn or two where I misplayed, so I still appreciate that, though. That was a tough one. There were a couple of decisions I kept second guessing, but I'm pretty happy with that. That's a good third game. All right, we are 3-0 for the night so far. Let's just see what happens with this hand. I know it's not a good one, but I've seen worse, to be fair. We just need to hope we don't cycle into more lands. I try to always lead off with the plains if I can, because sometimes people will be uncertain what your deck is doing until you cycle the first card. Okay, we got another cycler. That's a start. A Fabled Passage doesn't tell me anything. I'm going to actually play the healer. I know a lot of people don't like to play these on turn 2, especially against an unknown deck. But a lot of the time it baits out their things. You'll post your deck in a moment? Excellent, man. I'll take a look. Okay, mountain. Let's see. Forest. Are they another raptor deck? Oh my god, third flare. As another wise man once said, feels bad, man. I don't see a reason not to just go ahead and cycle these things out. I think we're in the game of flare them to death as best we can. Our Zenith flares are big enough to start killing creatures, and we have the lands to cast them. Oh god, Questing Beast? For real? I can't even see what's attacking with the art. It's really interesting that they're running a Questing Beast in a deck running Raptors, like... So I think this turn is gonna really just be kill Questing Beast. That feels fine to me, honestly. They'll think that I am losing the game at the moment, and I kind of am, realistically speaking. If I don't hit a few more cyclers, we are going to be in a really bad spot. But I can't let a Questing Beast sit on the board. If they just play another one, I'll cry a little bit, but that's okay. Oh, they kept it on top. Oh, cute. Okay, okay. I see your Great Horn. And I respect the fact that it does not have trample. I'm in a position where any chip damage I can do with the healer is actually big, because if they attack out for a big swing and then I snap back, I get to a point where my Zenith flares actually become semi-lethal. But I have to respect the fact that I also don't know what this deck does. This is the first time I've seen mutates in a deck with those Raptors and a Questing Beast. Like, this is like they blended 3 different decks together. Which, I'm all about this kind of stuff. Oh, do they have like a ram through? That's about as bad for me, but that's okay. Okay. They're attacking for 5. I'd go to 14. But the whole point of this is to have chump blockers. While they don't have trample, this is a good time to get a block in. I wonder if they're flooded. It seems that way. I say that, and my hand is pretty rough too. But I have lethal now, because I can cycle this, flare them at the end of their turn, and then flare them on my turn. So unless they assemble something I'm not expecting, I don't see a way that they win this. So I think I just pass turn, cycle, flare, and then finish them off. Ordered pizza. Now I'm a little jealous there. I haven't had pizza in a little bit. Oh, I need to hit the resolve. Downside to playing cycling is if you have untapped lands, you almost always have to hit resolve a billion times. Alright, cycle. Cycle. And flare to the face, if I can actually select it properly. Untap. Cast flare. Any mono green counter spells? I think they just flooded there though. The last two cards in their hand must have just not been very relevant. But I've only played 4 games tonight, and 2 of them have had marauding raptors in it. That is something else. Quang. Oh my gosh, deck. If this had a fox in it, I would love it. Let's try it. We're 4-0 with greedy keeps. Let's keep it going. When I miss the second land drop, you guys are allowed to laugh at me. Green, white to start. Alright. Oh no. Hey! We got there. Alright. I'm gonna be aggressive here and play a Stinger. Because green-white can mean a couple of things. They might be a Bant growth spiral deck. They might be, there's a counter deck going on. Well, there's the Bant, and there's the growth spiral. So never mind. Conversation over. Won't let you do a link. Interesting. Can you whisper the link to me? Hey guys, what do you think the odds are that if I play another creature, they untap and just board wipe? I'm gonna play it as a bit more of a cycly play. We're just gonna cycle 3 things. They could be Bant Flash, but that doesn't feel right. There's the white land. Okay, Teferi. I wonder if they'll actually phase, or if they'll just draw a discard. Separate the .com part. That's not a bad idea, because I can just copy it out. Alright, they're at 15. They're gonna plus here, but then in response to them phasing, I can try to cycle a bunch again. I'm a little worried that an Uro or something of that nature is gonna, you know, make it really hard for me to do a whole lot here, though. Aether Hub, okay. I'll take a look here in just a second. I want to make sure I don't get timed out here. He can phase out in response to the attack, so I really think I just attack here. If I attack his Teferi, he probably phases the Stinger for sure. He's still gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I really think that this is probably similar to the deck that I played against yesterday, or no, not yesterday, Wednesday, that did a pretty hot number on me. I like seeing the Zenith Flare here, so I want to push every single point of damage through that I can, and then hope that they're not counter heavy. Most of these decks seem to be more in the realm of, what's the word I'm looking for? Creature control. He discarded an Ugin. He went to 9? Whoa! Does he not know what kind of deck I'm playing?
The land shall conquer you.
He's lucky I have a handful of lands. Never mind. I mean, that's just game, right? Wow, okay. I am never, ever going to be upset. Never am I going to be upset about winning a game when the battlefield is Teferi Master of Time, Nissa Who Shakes the World, and I have a little 2/2 creature. I will never be upset by that. A hand with 3 lands in it too. I was feeling like this was not going to go well. I will take that victory in a heartbeat. Wow, game, what are you doing? I'm not going to keep a 4-lander. That seems too much. I'll keep the 6 here. We'll pitch the extra mountain. We'll tell ourselves we're a cycling deck and that we're not going to miss a land drop. Oh man, I gotta remember that I have to, the deck took you to Mythic? That's what I like to hear. Alright, downside to me trying to open up stuff on the left while I'm just doing things here. See, we're not missing land drops, we're good. We're good. We're in the same situation as last time, where they played Temple Garden turn 1. So let's see if we win with Drannith Stinger again. Oh, my computer is not happy about that. Alright, play a land. They do have the double white, so we're going to be on the same plan again. Where we just, like, cycle down a whole lot. Now, if they do a Narset turn, we're going to be sad. But we'll at least respond with triple cycle before they do anything. Although, I guess if they play a Narset under the board, they lose the Narset if they activate the ability, so... Maybe we don't see a Narset yet. Of course it's Uro. Well, let's go ahead and at least mitigate some of the life gain. A 1-mana Cycler was best case there. That's good. The other Mythic deck you use is blue-white Flyers. Nice. I keep looking at blue-white flying stuff, and I keep trying to decide whether I like it or not. It's really good to hear that it's putting up some results. I think there's a part of me that wants to put Lurrus in my hand here. They don't have a graveyard, so Uro is going to need at least a little setup. If I play the Rescuer, I feel like they're going to definitely kill it. Or like they're going to have the wipe. But I think this is the only turn of the game that I feel comfortable putting Lurrus in my hand, and my opponent may think that I have nothing by doing that, and so they may decide to commit to the board wipe, take a turn off. They may think I have no cyclers, that I'm flooding, so I mean there are small little things with that. Oh, did I time out here? Is that what's happening? What's going on? No problem, concentrating. I appreciate that, man. I'm really, like, I'm curious. I really want to look at these decks right now, but I also want to try to beat this. I don't beat a lot of Uros. Such an insane card. Solemn Simulacrum. Man. Well, Stinger's not attacking anymore. If only Go for Blood was a bite instead of a fight. They're at 15. We're getting close on the flares now. So, like, Cycle puts these both at 7 and puts them at 13. I think we just go all in on the cycling this round. We may actually be really close to the win. If they can set up Uro or any sort of other like life gain situation, then we cry a little bit more. Yeah, it's definitely an Ugin deck for sure. Ironically, I don't know that Ugin does enough. The Ugin decks don't tend to run much in the way of counter magic though, so the flares feel pretty safe, especially in best of 1. And I drew a ton of cycling this round, so we're getting close. Okay, are they gonna bounce the Stinger, you think? Slow the damage down on their head? Yep. Alright, this stops me from playing instants, so I pretty much have to do everything to their face right now, so to speak. So I could play a Stinger I mean, what's their follow-up? So they have no way to play these Uros. They usually only run 3, so even if they play one more, they go to 17. Yeah, I'm looking at the flares. I thought about maybe Stinger to whittle them and make them maybe take a turn trying to do something about them, but you're probably right. So let's go ahead and cycle a healer. The Stingers are a way to come back if they have something of any kind. Put them down to 4. They can't gain enough life to interact with the other flare. I do think the turn of putting Lurrus in my hand was fine, but it didn't end up actually making a difference in the game. Oh yeah, I forgot about Hydroid Crisis. But they had to tap out to do that. So, I mean, that's game. Yeah, absolutely, you're not wrong. I'm not even gonna bother with any cycling. Well, once you have the kill, you just go for it, but... I'm feeling pretty good right now, guys. I was a little uncertain about cycling and how it's going to do, but we've gone 6-0 so far tonight. That's an easy keep. It's not a fox hand, but it's still good. I'm the only one playing cycling. That might just be it. People aren't just looking for it. To be fair, I think, oh man, more red. I've seen a lot of aggro decks. That seems pretty prevalent right now in the format. There's a flare, so that's a good sign. Another flare is also a good sign. So if we cycle... Look away for a minute, another win. Yeah, I'm 6-0 right now. Against the red decks, I often just feel like playing the healer. We did this earlier and it panned out. I'm gonna try it, we're gonna see what happens. I know it's greedy, but I wish the Rescuer cycled for 1. My life would feel a lot better. So this always tempts them to burn up a Shock or a Bone Crusher, depending on the build. Correct me if I'm wrong, are they even playing Bone Crushers in Mono Red anymore? I was about to say, because Dragonfire is very good. Yeah, you're not wrong. Dragonfire is actually really bad for me. And I actually missed a land here, so... Okay, I wasn't sure. It's been a minute. So let's go ahead and cycle the extra here. I'd like to try to hit a land, but apparently that's not going to happen. Okay. Do they have just like an Anax here? What? Alright, we're gonna keep cycling. Yeah, I was pretty sure you meant the Bone Crusher, but I wanted to make sure I wasn't just making stuff up. Honest question, do any of them run a Tibalt on the sideboard? Huh. Interesting. I really don't want to give them 3 cards. Since I have a flare, a lot are main decking it. Ouch. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I was supposed to let them draw the cards. If they do it again, I'm not as worried about it. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Why, game? Why? Okay. We'll just do this. I completely forgot that people were running the Incinerators. Incinerator's got trample, right? Yeah. Okay. Then I think my preference right now, we got 1 of 2 things. I can try to make a big Fox, but they may have like a shock effect in response. Oh, I did not know that the sleeves actually elect. That's awesome. Oh man, I'm getting sidetracked. Okay, let's see. If they jumpstart, that's only 3 mana, or it's all 3 mana. If the Scorch Spitter's definitely 2. If they had had more skewers, they would have used them. If I cycle. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I'm still, again, like you said, M21, it's really changed what I know about the format, so. I want to see if they have any burn for the Fox. I'm kind of in a position, though, where I'm going to need just a whole nother flare, right? Alright, now that I've protected the Fox... it's much more likely that the Fox can eat the Spitter. Oh, am I just dead? I feel like they sequenced a lot of weird things here. I'm at 1. Well, yeah, okay. Woo! That, for just a moment, I thought I was very dead. Oh man, okay, that was a game. Yeah, so Incinerator, though, when they first revealed Incinerator, I had the thought between things like Scorch Spitters, I considered, what is it, Goblin Spitter or something like that? You can pay like 1 and tap it to deal damage. There were some things I looked at and said, like, maybe these things can make the Incinerator good enough, but it's far better than I expected it to be. Okay, there are a lot of decks this could be. I need to remember to let the Scry resolve before I cycle, even though they probably realize already that's what I'm doing. It's a little more... oh no. Alright, let's play the Stinger because we just have no action going on. That much at least is good news. That's not... what is this game doing to me? Let's cycle under the pretense that we need lands. Yeah, to be fair, Cavalcade can put some damage out fast. When they see me not cycle here, do you think they just know without a doubt what I have going on? Interesting. Oh, that was so dumb. I should have put Lurrus in my hand. They're bound to have something eventually, right? Yep. I think because my hand is so slow, this is actually the correct play here. Punish them for expecting me to have nothing to do. That may be a waste of that Zenith Flare damage, but I cannot afford to lose Stinger right now. Oh my god. Here... I'm gonna put Lurrus in my hand, and I'm just gonna double down on the cycle. Yeah, well, I just know that the Night Pack ambushers get out of control fast. I'm not willing to attack into it this time, though. Yep. Alright, so we're gonna put them down to 9. Our flare will be at 6. We're not blocking the flyers by any means, so I'm not trying to make a bunch of chumps on the ground right now. That just feels bad, feels weak. At the same time, I think my opponent's likely to have at least like a mystical dispute, something to that effect. The fact that they did not activate the Sailor tells me that they definitely have something. Okay, all right. I'm not gonna lie, for having started with so many lands, the cycle draws have been insane. Because now if they have like a Hydroid Krasis that they play to gain life and block, I just kill them in response. Yeah. Jeez, man. Alright, so we drew out of that game. Let's be honest. The early couple of turns looked very bad there for me. Oh, and of course, so you guys have been watching this the whole time. I only draw the Fox if I'm on the draw. Okay. While I do think this is not going to go well for me, I'm going to still go ahead and try the Fox plan. If they Teferi, I'll know they're a very weird build. Yep, there's definitely the turn 2 Uro. If they Nissa this turn, they just had it all, so good for them, you know? Nobody's prepared for me. I'm not going to be upset about that. I hope that's okay. I got mana screwed the first game though, flooded your second, and won your third. That's rough, man. There's one thing that I can't stand about Magic is that some of the variance just comes down to your inability to draw the cards you need to play the game. Alright, if they have Nissa here, I'm actually not sure we can win. I know it sounds really negative, but Nissa's such advantage. And the fact that they did not block, they don't have the Nissa though. Okay, so they must not have had the 5th land. Interesting. So I imagine at this point there's no reason not to block for them. I know it moves me a little slow, but they don't so far appear to be running white. So I think getting more bodies on the board is going to actually be more relevant here. If I have to go for blood, like if I can draw a red source here, I will go for blood at Grazer Cut. There's the Nissa. Of course there is.
I will aid you.
Alright.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
I really need the red land. Thank everything that is holy in this world. Alright. I know it doesn't kill Nissa here, but the fact that we can wear her down should help. And it makes it very likely for me to finish her off next turn. In just green and blue mana, I don't know of any way that they could wipe my board here, so let's see. The best thing they do... They need one more card in graveyard to get Uro. I'm actually really okay playing out this body here. I know it may not be the full-on correct play, but I'm going to have a ton of tokens to work with here soon if they do nothing. And they're not... Oh, wait a second. But they could have Ugin already. I shouldn't have played it. God. I'm still not used to playing around Ugin. If he plays Ugin, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Or just a massive crisis? Yeah. That's one way to do it. Flying, trample, it attacks for 10, and he drew a billion cards? Oh, I guess I should have sent stuff at him. I got very aggressive there with that.
Comfort in the land.
I was just like, Nissa must die. If he just plays another Nissa, I'll be really sad, but these things happen. I mean, he filled his hand up a lot though, right? I mean, at this point, what are the odds of him not bringing this game back? You think so? I do think my my attack was really bad. I should have sent some of that damage at the face. But that crisis was just something that you don't really deal with. I think it's okay to chump here. I know it doesn't really make a big difference. Yeah, I don't know how I come back from that kind of card advantage. I mean, even if I got another flare for like the Uro, he'll just get it right back anyway, and that's just not good enough. Don't really want to see more lands, deck. I really don't think I'm gonna play the flare. Like, there's an argument to do it on his turn before he can attack, to cut down his life gain and his card draw. But that just feels bad here. I think I'm going to actually just put Lurrus in my hand. Yeah, Tanook, I don't know that there's a way I make it through this one. Because even if he has nothing, he can keep cycling spells and recasting arrows to draw cards and get those free attacks in. And then another Nissa, so... We're at a point now where one of the reasons I want to kill Nissa is to stop him from having a ton of mana for things like Ugin. But he's got enough lands now to hardcast anything major in his deck. And honestly, Lurrus is just a 3-2 for 3 right now for the most part. The only thing I can get back is a Flourishing Fox, and I have no cyclers to grow it. The only way I kill this Uro is to double down, so I think I have to just chump here.
Rise, my elemental friend.
It is notable to me that he doesn't care about his Nissa. He just, like, confirmed that, basically. And draw another land there. I mean, this is pretty much a point where I almost just want to call a game, but I like to see it play out. I want to see where it ends up. It's okay to play the Fox here, because Flare, most of the time, will only be 6 here anyway. And then we want to kill Nissa without losing our Rescuers. He could... I guess these decks could have Brazen Borrowers, but I don't ever see them in this particular build anymore, so I don't think so. So I'm just gonna do this. Yep. Alright.
Forgive me.
I'm at 25, so there's an argument to be made that I can just justify chumping Uro here and taking 6. And there's the Ugin.
Strive for balance.
Alright, so Ugin's able to +3 every turn. I can kill it with Flare, but then I take 6.
Undone.
And then assuming he has no live draws, I think that's just game here, because he's got his backup for Uro. Like, that's definitely how I expect a lot of those matches to go. So our first loss of the night, we picked up to an Uro Growth Spiral deck. This is what I was worried about a lot when I was playing on Wednesday, but I didn't actually run into it much. I ran into a lot of more aggressive decks.